Good. So, welcome back. Yes, when you mention cost, what comes to mind? Cost. So, cost of sales, operating cost, overhead cost. Good. This is a pure management accounting term, cost, where they explain it into detail. So, we will pick it. Now, when you mention cost, it means there's an amount or expenditure incurred for rendering of what service, or rendering of what service or production of goods. So in simple quotes, it's an expenditure that you incur for providing service or goods. So provision of goods and services. So that's the cost. How you calculate cost, there are so many techniques that will probably help management accountant to ascertain or derive their cost. Yes, we are financial accountants. How they ascertain the costs? Normally, we account for it. We show up the entries, the relevant entries. Good. So today, let us be a management accountant just for today. Good. So, in fact, when you mention cost, we have some composition element of cost. Cost comprised of three. Anywhere they mention, they ask cost, just tell them that it's comprised of three items. That's all. So, cost of a product, cost of service, cost of production, cost of sales. If you put all this, it's made up of what? Three items. So that's the element of cost. We call it element of costs. They are material. So when I add material cost, material, labor, and what? Expenses. Good. That's the overheads. So when I add these three together, so material cost so much, so much, so much, I'll probably get what? The total cost. This is the total cost. Good. Now with this total cost too, we can also break into two. All this one you can break them into two: material, labor, and expenses. Now we can have direct and indirect. Oh yes, you have direct material and indirect material, direct labor and indirect labor, direct expense and indirect expense. So you take note. So basically, cost comprised of three items. So anywhere you're looking for cost, don't forget to add these three items together. You are done. Now let's go into detail of this. Now we will have two sides. We have direct. So we have direct material and what? Indirect. Wow, what arrangement is this? So direct material or indirect material. Good. So putting all this together, so we will have direct material, so much. Ghana City will be here. Direct labor, direct labor, so much. And then direct expense, so much. This is what we call prime cost. Your prime cost. So your prime cost is made up of what? The direct cost. Now, what's the meaning of direct cost, direct material, and an indirect material? Like, what's the idea behind? Why can't we put all of the costs together and just name it cost? Why is it breakdown? Yes, some of the costs are directly, or some of the costs can be traced to the product or the artifact. That's the cost unit or the cost center. I don't want to use most of the management accounting terminologies. Yes, because we are the financial accountant. Good. Now, direct cost means you can easily trace it to that of the artifact or the cost center or the cost unit. That makes it direct. So let me give you an example. I have a duster here. Now look at this duster very well. Tell me the part that you can see. Yes, I can see wood. I can see material here. So it means the part that I can see, the cost that, the amount that they spend to acquire those parts, they are what? Direct cost. Why? Because such costs, I can trace it to what? The artifact, the final product. Any cost that you incur, that at the end of the day, you can trace it. Oh, I can see the wood. I can see the cover. I can see the cleaner. Good. So it makes it what? Direct cost. So take notes. So direct material, direct labor, direct expense made up of what? Are prime costs. They are direct because you can easily trace it. Some of the costs you cannot trace it. Oh yes. Some of the costs you can't trace it. If I should tell you that they've dipped this thing into a chemical solution to prevent any insect, you won't see it. It won't appear here. Such costs cannot be traced. And such cost is called what? Indirect cost. So the cost that you cannot trace easily, you can't trace. You can't just look at it and say, oh, they've applied some chemical on it. No. So that is it. So that's an indirect cost and indirect, direct cost and indirect cost. So direct material are the materials that you can easily, or the cost that you incur, which can be easily traced to that of the product. What about labor? Sorry, what about labor? Direct labor. Direct labor. They are the ones that you can easily, you can say, no, this one, someone have worked on it. The person who directly work on the goods. For instance, the one who is behind the machine, turning the raw material into what? Finished product, directly involved in that process. And then the indirect labor will be like the supervisor. Yes, the supervisor, those who supervise the work. They are not indirectly relating to converting the goods or the raw material to their finished state. And then the expenses, direct expense. Sometimes some of the products, before you produce, the product might not be probably your own. So you require some patent or copyrights. So the amount that you pay for it, it becomes a direct expense. Yes, like a logo, like a brand name. Yeah. So normally we use royalties paid on a certain product before you can be able to produce or sell the same products. That's a direct what? Expense. Putting them together, I get a direct cost, total direct cost. And management term, you call it prime cost. It's a prime. Then you add the overheads. In fact, suppose you even add all the overheads. That's the indirect cost. All the indirect cost. It's called what? Overheads. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expense. All of them together, we call them what? Overheads. So overhead is the aggregate of the indirect cost. Good. Now, if you are looking for a production cost, then we should add what? Factory overhead or production overhead. Factory overheads. So much. Now, these factory overheads, I'll talk about it. Good. Now, with the factory overheads, we have two. We have the variable and then we have the fixed. So variable cost and fixed cost. Good. Fixed. Now the issue is that the factory cost or the factory overhead is also called production overhead. So you can also call it what? Production overhead. So cost of production. or cost of producing the goods. So take note. They are variable or fixed. Putting this together, then we have total production cost. Have you seen where we are heading towards? Total what? Production cost. Production cost. Total production cost. Good. So putting this together, we have total production cost. Good. Now that you know that this is the total production cost, then we normally add non-production overhead. Non-what? Production. Non-production overheads to it, and this is the total cost for the period. Overall cost. Total what? Cost for the period. So this one becomes the total cost for the period. Good. Now, this technique, this is the full version. Now, where I want you to pay attention to is just here, up to this session. That's all. So, now let me explain marginal costing techniques and then the absorption costing. Now, with the marginal costing, it's also called direct costing. Yes, direct costing. So, marginal cost approach, marginal costing, like a technique that we use to calculate costs. Everything over here is the same, just that when you come here, marginal costing do not include the fixed production overhead. That's all. So with the marginal cost, the fixed production overhead are not or do not form part of the production cost. That's the difference. Absorption cost form part. So this one look like what? The absorption costing. So absorption costing. Absorption. So these are two main cost techniques. Now with the absorption, when it reach here, the fixed production overhead or fixed factory overhead, it include, that's the absorption costing. But with the marginal costing, it will not be part. So if I should do the marginal cost well or the marginal cost card, the marginal cost card will be like this. Good. So this is the marginal cost card. So it will just add your prime cost plus the variable factory overheads. You are done. So take notes. If you want to go ahead and do the absorption, just add a fixed production overhead to it. You add a fix, then you get what? The full cost. So absorption is also called full cost because that one, all the production costs will be taken into consideration. Marginal, no. Marginal means variable. Marginal means variable. So it's also called variable costing or direct costing. So that is it. Good. So this is a short intro about the marginal costing and then the absorption costing. Well, the marginal costing, it says that in short term, fixed cost is what? Irrelevant in short term. And then absorption costing also saying that in the long term, fixed cost is relevant. So that's the way. Just that you don't need this. Good. I am done. So I'll go to the question and then ask you to probably start the examples for me. Good. So now that we probably know the idea or the understanding of marginal and absorption costing, we can go ahead and use it to solve question 8. Though question 8 is a budget question, functional budget, but it requires a bit of marginal and absorption techniques. Normally the marginal. So take note when we get there, we're going to apply there. So before that, let me just give some small details. Okay, so target publications have the following cost card. target publication have the following details. 1, publication have details for one of its order. Order 1. So details of order 1, the first order. The first order, we need 4 boxes, 4 boxes of A4 at what? At 100 cedis, at 100 cedis per box, 100 cedis per what? Box. Good. And then it requires 45 minutes. It requires what? 45 minutes. 45 minutes to produce at a rate of 5 cedis per hour. 5 cedis per hour. So that's note 1, note 2. Then note 3. Uh, 50 cedis per hour. Let's make it 50 cedis per hour. Good. 50 cedis per hour. Okay, now let's move on. Let's move on. Royalty. Royalty of 50 Ghana cedis per book. Royalty is what? 60 Ghana cedis per book. Royalty need to be paid. Let's make it. Royalty is what? Royalty is 50 cedis per book. Per book. Fourth one, factory overhead. Factory overheads are absorbed at a rate of what? At the rate of 100 cedis per hour. Good. Full stop. Fifth one. Fixed production overheads. Fixed production overheads. Fixed production overheads is let's put any figure there. 200,000, and the normal output. Wow. Normal output is 10. That's 20,000 books. Full stop. Required. Calculate the costs, the production cost using marginal That's the first one. A, using marginal. B, using absorption. Let me even worse the case. Wow. Sixth one. Fixed selling cost is expected to be, let's say, fixed selling cost is also 100,000, and then variable selling cost is what? Is 3 cedis per book. That's a variable selling cost. I'm done with the question. So with this, let's try and calculate the cost of order, the production cost of order one. Well, we want to know the cost per unit, the cost card, the cost per unit. The cost per unit. Good. So that is it. Now let's start. If you want to calculate the cost under the marginal, so cost card, so marginal cost card. Marginal cost card. We said that marginal, you add direct material, direct labor, direct expense, factory overheads, or the production overheads, you are done. So direct material, that's the 4 box of what? A4. So direct material will be, so direct material, that's the solution. Oh. This one is illustration. This is not examinable question, it's illustration. Good. So 4 boxes of what? A4 at what? 100 Ghana cedis per box. So it means that it will be 4 by what? 100. That will give us a set of a book, which is what? That will be 400 Ghana, right? 400 Ghana. You need, so 400. Good. Okay, which section? I hope you get a question because on the line. Good. Okay, sorry. I'll be talking now. Good. So that is it. Now you go to direct labor. Direct what? Labor. Labor. What's the labor cost? The labor cost, according to note 2, said that it requires 45 minutes to produce at the rate of what? 50 Ghana cedis per hour. Wow, so that's the labor hours. We need 45 minutes. So we have to convert the 45 to what? An hour, because the rate is per hour. 50 Ghana cedis per hour. So take note. So either you probably said, okay, the 45 minutes converting into hour, you divide by 60. Because you take 45 divided by 60 times the 50 Ghana cedis. It will give us what? The cost over here. Good. So what do you get? So 45, in trouble, 45 divided by 60. That's 75% times 50 Ghana. Wow. Can someone do the calculation for me? So 45 divided by 60 times 50. That's 37 So that's the labor cost, 37.5 per book. So that's direct labor. Let's go to direct expense. You have direct expense there. Yes, royalty is an example for direct expense. So royalty, you just write royalty, 50 Ghana. Now let's move on. Variable production overhead. So variable production overhead. Production what? Overheads. The variable production overhead are absorbed at the rate of what? Are absorbed at the rate of 100 cedis per hour. So they use the direct labor hours. You have to absorb it using the direct labor hours. So they are saying that the labor hours, we should just multiply it by what? 100. And the labor hours is what? 45 minutes. So take note. Please, you are going to see all these terminologies in the question that we are going to solve. The question 8. Yes. That's why I want everybody to try it. Good. Don't worry, you'll be fine. So royalty. Good. After. So now let's see how you can get the labor, the factory overheads, the variable one, into brackets. 45 minutes, right? You have to also convert it to what? To hours. So divide it by 60. Why are you dividing by 60? We are dividing it by 60 because the rate given to us is per hour. So we have to convert the 45 minutes to what? To hours. So 45 divided by 60 times 100 Ghana. And that will also give us, so that's a variable production overheads. That will also give us, so I think it should give us 137. Okay, so times 2, right? So times 2. That's 75. Good. So this one times 2, 75. Oh yes, 75. Got the labor is pay 50. Yeah. Okay, so that's the variable production overhead. Good. Before even you go to that, don't forget, let's do our analysis. We can probably add these three together and call it what? Prime cost. Good. So that's the prime cost. So putting these three together before we come to the production overhead, variable production overhead. So variable production overhead. And we said it's nothing by 45 minutes out of 60 minutes times what? 100 Ghana cedis. And we had 75. Good. So adding all this together, what do you get? 450, 487. So 487.5. That is the prime cost. So that's the prime cost. Hey, 512. I'll disagree. 512.5. I will disagree. Let's add it again. 400 plus 50, that's 450, right? Plus 37.5. That gives us 487.5. Agreed? Okay, good. 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 So that is the prime cost. Then the factory overhead, variable production overheads. The indirect cost, we have to pick the variable one, not the fixed one. So we don't pick the fixed production overhead. So for marginal cost, after picking this, you are done. So putting all this together, and that's the total cost, total production cost. We normally call it total production cost or total marginal cost. Because if you are using marginal cost technique, you will get a marginal cost. If you are using absorption cost, you get total cost, full cost. So what do you get for the total full cost after adding this to it? So the answer probably plus 4, 8, That's a 512, right? Oh, okay. Okay. Is that a 512? 87 dot 5. Hey, I was told that the answer. The 512. The 512. How do you get your 512? Is that the prime cost or the total marginal cost or the total cost of production? Cost of production, right? Good. So that's 562.5. Agreed. Good. Oh yes, good. I like that. So this is the marginal cost. So marginal costing, marginal cost, there is it. So that we have terrible questions on that. Yes. When you come to management accountants, you have terrible questions on that. So have you seen there is a fixed selling cost over here, 100,000, and then variable selling cost is 3 cedis per book. We don't need all this thing here because we don't need that stuff because it's what? Non-production. This is what? A non-production cost, non-production overhead. Here we are just calculating what? The production cost. You should know that not all costs contribute to the production of the goods. Yes. If like take gassing, let's take gassing for instance. Probably they manufacture what? Ghana cement. If we take their factory, where they operate, their office, their head office. If we take the head office for instance, or where they produce the goods, you can see that a part, something like this, here will be where the factory is, where the production goes on. Even some organization, they have a separate production, like separate production premises from the other. Some to the same premises or the same land, on the same land. So the same land, let me assume that it's on the same land. On the same land, part of it is for the factory or the production house. The production house. Part of it is the selling and what? Distribution. And here's the central administrative department, the admin. Central admin. So have you seen all these people will incur costs? Factory costs. So this is what we call it, factory costs. So if you are the factory, you incur factory costs. If you're an admin, you incur administrative costs. If you are at what? Selling and distribution, you incur what? Selling and distribution costs. So if you are calculating the production cost, then you have to pick it from the factory or the production department. So the production department, they will produce what? Or they will ascertain production cost. So when you have selling costs, whether variable or whether it's fixed, it should not come and form part of production cost, not at all. So that is it. So that's why I'm not going to include this cost here. Then the question is, then why do you bring it here? You know my style, right? Good. Overflow information is allowed. Anywhere we set the question, there should be some level of what? Like, that to provide more than the student need. Yes. So that if you bring it in, it's getting you nicely. So take notes. So calculating the cost from the production department should be different from what? Admin. But if you want the total cost, total operating cost for a particular period for gassing, then what do? Have you seen the first calculation that we did? You go to your factory cost plus the non-production overhead. So you add the non-production overhead to it. Then you get what? The total cost for the period. Total operating cost for the period. Total operating cost for the period. So that is it. Thank you. Now let's go to absorption. So this is the marginal. With the absorption cost card, absorption what? Cost card. All what I have to do is I have to include fixed production overhead. Have you seen the marginal cost? I don't include fixed production overhead. Yes. That one, it should be expensed in a period in which they occur or incurred. So that is it. So here I have to just include a fixed production overhead. So variable production overhead. So let's go to fixed production what? Fixed production overhead. And that one, normally we use the rates, the absorption rate, the 6 absorption rate to absorb it. Good. It may be new to you, but how they will state it, that's the same way you have to also do to solve it. It's so straightforward. Let's go to the fixed production overhead. It's a fixed production overhead. It's what? 200,000, estimated to be 200,000. And the normal output is 20,000 books. Here we are calculating per book. Per what? Book. Our calculation is per book. So that is it. Now, if we are calculating per book, and then the overhead cost is 200,000. Okay. Good. Sorry. Good. Now, if we are calculating per book, and then they've given us the cost to be 200,000, but they've produced what? They have the normal output is 20,000 books. Then cost per book, fixed cost per book will be what? The 200,000 Ghana cedis, all divided by what? The 20,000, right? Good. So, and then that will give us probably 10 cedis. Is it 10 cedis? Yes, it's 10 cedis. So that's 10 Ghana cedis. That's the fixed cost. So I'll add it to this, and then I'll get what? 572. So 572.5. This is the total cost. Total cost of what? Production. And that's the full cost. Good. That's the full cost. So that is it. So that's the total cost of production. Now, have you seen the cost of sales that we have been using in our financial statement preparation? Yes, this is how they have the cost of sales. The cost of sales use the full cost approach. Yes, so they've added a fixed cost, fixed production overheads to it. Yes, so that is it. So if you realize that both margin and absorption, I have not included the sixth section. I have not included it. Why? Because it is non-production. Does not form part of production. So take note. Now, if I want to determine the total cost, now it means that this is the cost of sales. So this is the cost of production. Have you seen the cost of production? Plus the operating expenses. Good. So the operating expenses, adding operating expenses to the cost of sales now become the total cost for the period. Have you seen analysis? Good. So take note. So I'm done. Now when I do one, like if I do one, you do one, right? One-to-one mapping. Now I'm going to use the question 8. Yes, we are going to use the question 8. So I'm going to use question 8, or you will use the question 8 for me. Question 8. Good. So just one question. Look at how I have to do this before doing question 8. So let me go and pick it up. Question. Good. So let's move to question 8. Okay. Let's see the side movement. Yes. Please, this is the question that I was talking about. This was the question 1. Kindly try the question 1, 2. That was the question I was talking about. So check that one too for me. It's very good. Wow, let's come up here. So what's the name of the company? The name of the company. Name of the company is what? Okay, so question 5. Question 5, 6. Good. Question 8. Question 8 is here. Good. I mean borrow. Right. Good. So this is a question, and that's the data. And then good. Okay. Before I come to question 8, let me try and explain some few issue here. There's one issue to have to talk about. I have to also talk about markup and margin. Please, there's no topic in our syllabus that explain markup and margin. It's in our earlier studies. So we have to be commensurate with markup and margin. How to deal with markup and margin. Markup and margin is determined by the profit. How to determine the profit. Assuming that it costs you 572.5 to produce a book, and I ask you, how much are you going to sell this book? How are you going to determine the selling price? Okay, then let me add a profit to it. How are you going to determine the profit? You add your profit to it, right? Because now when you get the cost plus your profit, that's the markup or the margin, plus the profit, that's the markup or the margin, is equal to what? The selling price. That's all. So the markup or the margin, we use the markup or margin to determine the selling price. So that's one fact too. So anywhere, anytime you are looking for cost, but the selling price, there's markup there, you just probably change of subject. That's one important area. Good. So now this is the cost. Now when you say markup, when you say markup is the profit expressed as a percentage of what? Of cost. That is it. Markup is profit expressed as what? Percentage of costs. When you say margin, you are aware of it. Sales, how do you call it? Gross profit margin, net profit margin, operating profit margin, anything margin. We said is that item over sales times 100. Okay, so profit margin should be what? It means profit expressed as a percentage of sales. That is it. So how are you going to determine your profit? If you want to go by the cost side, then it's cost, that's the markup. If you want to go by the selling price section, that's what? Margin. So here we are going to cite an example to delve in. So the same question. Assuming that the profit is 25% markup. So illustration A, determine the selling price. If the profit is what? 25 markup. B, 20% margin. The profit is what? 20% margin. They are not the same. Good. Markup and margin. Good. So now we know that when we have our cost plus the profit, plus what? Sorry, this camera. Okay, I think it's okay now. Good. Now we know that to determine the selling price, that's the SP, is equal to cost plus what? The profit. Now this profit can be markup, or margin. Good. So take note. But for most of the budget question, yes, because it's an estimate. Most of budget questions are estimates, so to require this technique. So determine the selling price for me. It's like you have an item, it costs you 572. You want to achieve a profit of 20%. Profit of what? 20%. So the question is, what is the selling price? So that is it. So markup. If markup is on cost, So let me clean this section and do it here. The figure is what? So cost of production. Are we using the absorption or the marginal? Let's use this one. That's the absorption. Good. Let's use the absorption. So total cost, just that you will use the marginal as your trial. So total cost is what? 572.5. How do you determine the profit? So tell me the profit loading on this product. The profit loading is what? 25% markup. Markup is on what? Oh, sorry. Good. So we are going to calculate the profit. Yes. We're going to calculate the profits. Now, so we are going to determine the selling price. But first of all, we have to calculate the profit. Then we add it. Now, if it is markup, you don't need to worry because markup is on cost. And this is the cost too. So like, the formula. So that one, you have to just strike the percentage on it straightforward without any difficulty. So the profit will be 25% of what? 572.5. Whatever you get, you put it there as the profit. That's the markup. How we get that? So to be, I want to bring it here so that I get enough space for the workings. So 25% times what? 572.5. Good. And that'll give us any answer for me. So 0.25 by 572. That's 143. Wow, no point. Oh, I didn't do it well. Okay, there's point here. 143.125. So that's the selling price per book. 143. 143 dot what? Dot 125. That's the profits. So putting all together, then our selling price will be what? Selling price will be, putting all together now, plus 572.5. That would be 715. 715.63. Wow. Good. So that is it. Okay, let's make it 625. Or you can also do this now. Go to in markup, always selling price is 100. The cost, we add the cost to it. So what do we do? Always the cost is 100. Why? Because markup is on cost. The cost is always 100, represent 100%. The profit loading is X%. So therefore, the selling price will be what? Abi, we add profit to cost, right? We don't subtract. So the selling price represents 100 plus X percent. Good. This one is formula. If I should key in, then here, what is the profit? The profit loading is 25%, right? So putting all together, I have 125. So it means that the selling price is 125% of what? Of the cost. So the selling price will be, so therefore, the selling price will be 125% times the cost, 572.5. If you do this, to give you the same answer as this. So anyhow you want it, the answer is still the same. I like that, Adam V. I like that. So that is it, 125% of this. Obviously, so that one is straightforward. So take note. When you have cost and its markup, is straightforward because markup move with what? With cost. So if you have markup and you have cost, don't worry yourself, just multiply and leave it. But the terrible situation is this. You have cost, but you have margin. Margin move with sales. So for margin move with sales, markup move with cost. But sometimes there will be some level of transfer from markup to margin. Like when we take the B, so this is the answer for A. So answer for A. Now let's go to the B. B2, I'll do the same thing. B is the margin. Now watch out for the margin. That one is that percentage is on what? It's on selling price. But we don't know the selling price. We are not going to even find the selling price. So that is the profit. And then we come to the selling price. Good. Now the issue is this. With the margin, here we have the cost. Wow. Then there's an issue. We have the cost. There's an issue. There is what? An issue. Because we cannot just multiply 20% by this. No. When we do that, then we are doing markup. But here is a margin. Good. So now watch out. I have 3 different ways of solving this. So I'll walk you through all of them. Just choose one. Don't need to know all the 3. No. Not at all. Not at all. First, let's go by elementary. No formula. No formula work. Elementary. Elementary, right? Yes. How do you find selling price? Elementary. Selling price is equal to what? Cost plus what? Profit. I believe everybody is aware and then know this. Good. I like this. Now here, what is the selling price for this question? We don't know. We don't know the selling price. So that's what we're looking for. Okay. Now it's equal to, do you know the cost? Oh yes, we know the cost. It's what? 572.5 plus the profit. Do we know the profit? We don't know the value, but we know the percentage. It's on selling price. Okay, the profit is 20% on selling price, right? So if I should multiply 20% times S, because S is the selling price, so I'll get what? Well, I'll get 0.2S because 20% is the same as 0.2. Your profit is 0.2. Good. So I'll get 0.2 what? S. So when I write it, you are aware of how we got it, right? So 0.2S. Good. Hey, there's no difference between a 0.2S. So. Okay. There is. That's it. Good. So this is 572. Now let's solve it. You know, they say group like terms, right? Oh yes, group what? Like terms. So what do? Send this one here. So S less 0.2S finally is equal to what? 572.5. So we can get what? 0.8. 0.8S is equal to 572.5. Okay. Now what do you do again? The mathematicians, help me. Yes, the mathematicians, help me. V, please, what do you do here again? Yes. Mathematicians, oh yes, group of what? Okay, we've got the like terms already. So what do? You divide both sides by what? Yes, 0.8. So divide here too by 0.8. What do you get? So therefore, the selling price is nothing by 0.8. So what's the answer? So the selling price will be 572.5 divided by what? 0.8. And that will give us, and that will give us, good. So what's the selling price? If you divide, good. Any answer for me? So you get 572.08. No, 572.5 divided by 0.8. And that is 715. I like that. Wow, 715.625. This one is something though. Wow. There's a coincidence here. The answer is the same as the one that we did using the markup, but it's a coincidence, okay? Don't worry, it's coincidence. It does not mean that any other question that you solve, if I should change it to, let's say, 30%, we won't get a selling price for the 25 markup, so take note. It's a coincidence that 25% markup is the same as what? 20% margin. So this and this are the same. So that's why, like patterns, how they move. Okay, so the selling price is what? 715 dot what? Dot 625. So when you get this, what do? You find the difference representing what? The profits. So the profit will be minus the cost. 572.5. Good. So we have 143. 143. I repeat, it's a coincidence that creates. Yeah. If you should make it 30%, it will change. So take note. Yes, the same as the markup. It's a coincidence, or like we have patterns that they move together. It's like when you know that measurement. If you increase it by 5, it also be the same. So that is it. If I should make here, let's say 30%, here will be 30.3.3, so it will be 0.7. That answer will be different from the first answer that we had. So take note for me. So let's do it the 20. Don't worry. So now I'm done with the first scenario. Now get this scenario. This one is what? Elementary. Now let's go to the second scenario. The second approach to deal with this. Approach 1, approach 2. All of them, then approach 3. Third scenario. You will tell me the one that you will like. Good. Approach 2. What you do is this. You use the features of margin. Now let's revise ourselves. In margin, sales, margin is on what? It's on sales, right? So the one that is on it is always 100%. It's the original. Oh yes, because margin is on sales, so sales becomes original. Markup is on cost. Cost become original, and cost become the base. The factor. The base is always 100. And the original is always 100, so that is it. So selling price will be what? Is equal to 100%. Okay, then that's good. If selling price is equal to 100%, if selling price is equal to 100%, and then profit will still be what? X%. Oh yes, because profit is still be X%. But here we know to be what? 20%. 20%. Okay. Now that we know that it's 20%, what do? We can put a 20% here. 20 what? Percent. Who can find the cost for me? The cost will be what? If selling price is 100 and profit is 20%, what will be the cost? Well, the cost will be 80%, right? Okay. So the cost is what? 80%. So the cost becomes 80%. So what do? That's all. So now that we know this, then we start our analysis. If this 80%, the monetary value, we know the cost, which is what? 572.5. Then what are you looking for? Are you looking for the selling price or the profit? Here you can find any of them. Then, if you're looking for the profit, which is what? Then 20% will be what? You find it. Then you relax a while, you come back again. Then the selling price, which is what? The 100% is equal to what? Can key it in. If you do, the answer will still be the same. So you can try it for me. And then they will tell you if more, less, divide, if less, those kind of stuff. Yes, so you put it in. So if you do the calculation well, you get what? Divide this one by this, multiply by what? 20, you're going to get a profit. So therefore, the profit will be profit will be 5. I'll do this way. 572 times probably 20 that I'm looking for, all about 80, and that's the profit. So to give you the same answer as what? 143. 143. It's coincidence though. That's the markup and margin, the answers are the same. Yes, so that is it. Like we have patterns that they move together. Yes. It's like you measuring hours and then minutes. Guys, okay, I have 60 minutes. Someone's okay, me too, I have hour here. So 60 minutes is the same as hour. So anytime you get 60 minutes, it's the same as an hour. So the same way, if you have, let's say, 25 markup, it's also the same as what? 20% margin. So that's it. Okay. So it's the same. Then you're done. Then you go to the last one. The last one, use formula. Converting markup to margin. If you want to convert markup to margin or margin to markup, here we have to convert margin to what? To markup, because we have the costs, but they have given us margin. So you have to convert what? The margin given to us to markup. Good. And that one will be, the formula is A over B minus A. That's it. A over B minus A. A over B minus A. A over B minus A. Sorry. Yeah, so that's the formula. That's all. So here to be 20% over 100, B is 100 minus 20. That's all. So to be 20 over what? Over 80. So that's the profit element. 20% out of 80. That box onto this. And then you get the answer. Thank you. So that's the end of the markup and then margin. So the question I'm going on, the question 8, kindly calculate the selling price for me. If you're able to determine the selling price for me, I'm fine. So that's the work of the day. Work the day or work for the day will be what? The selling price. So let's go to the question and then you get the selling price for me. So markup a margin should be 10 of what? Of the pass. Should be the 10 of the pass. And it will be, so question 8. Let's go to the comments and see if we can do something about it. Okay, so use the data given above to prepare the following budgets. Just 5 budgets for 20 marks. Production budget, direct material cost budget, direct material purchase budget, direct labor utilization budget, direct wage cost budget. Yes, in fact, all of them depend on the A. If you get the very first one wrong, forget it. Don't even continue. You get the very first one wrong because all depends. You have already identified the functional budget, the principal budget factor in the question already. So all this budget depend on that one. All depend on the production. Okay, so now let's go to the question and let's see. Let's go to the question. Good. Let's go through the question. Sorry, let's continue. So now let's go to the actual question and do justice with it. So, in fact, for budget question, the examiner can test your knowledge on so many areas. So many areas. Like I said, there's no topic in our syllabus that requires what markup and margin. But it's in here. Oh yes, like conversion of ratios, hour to minutes, seconds, kilograms, those stuff. So please, those units of measures that we have thrown them away. How many grams make a kilogram to be a wall? How many centimeters make inches? Those stuffs. How many meters make an inch? Those stuff. So, in fact, you can load a question like that. So take note of that. What is this? Okay. So now let's go to the starting part of the question. This device, it's not going no. It's not moving no. Come on, move. Let's go. Oh, the thing's not moving no. Sorry, the thing is not moving. The thing refuses to move. Oh, I'll move with my hands there. The thing is not moving. Why is like that? Okay. I think my arrangement has scattered. Wow. Let me open it again and then let's do. Or if you have the question there, question 8, you can probably open it and then you start solving it. Start looking for the selling price. If you want to get a selling price, get a cost first. If you want to get a cost, check whether marginal absorption. After getting it, what again do you do? Then you do the prof. Yes, you do the prof. That's the profitalization. Profitalization, how to calculate profits. Yes, that is it. You do the thing, the profitalization. Why this thing is not coming? Open. Good. I've opened it again. I have opened it again. I've opened it again. 200. Good. Wow. Okay, let's move on. I don't know. My arrangement is scatter. Scatter. Hey, what have I done for myself? Okay, let me see if it go down. Scatter. Okay. Wow. Sorry. The device. Okay, so now let's start. I have it now. Arumboro Limited produced two products. Product Cheng and product what? Jam. The last time the same question dropped, it was product Tutu. It was Tutu and another Chem or so. Tutu and another name. That's 2019. Good. So they produced two types of products, Cheng and Jam. So Cheng and Jam. The two products both use material A and B in their production. Employees engaged to produce both products work in two departments, Department X and Department Y. Why? Everything two. So one of the day you are doing 6x6 metrics. Yes, 6x6 metrics. Because two. So take notes. So to make the question look a bit loaded, but you'll be fine. The company uses a marginal costing system. Wow. The company uses what? A marginal costing system. Good. Now let's move on. You have just assumed the post of management accountant. Good. Yes. So we've just assumed the post of what? Management accountant. At what? Arumboro Limited. After your induction week, the financial controller gives you the data below. Tell them that you've not yet resumed. Yes. So now let's see. Hey, come on, you. It's not going up. Oh. Wow. Wow. Okay, so the information. Sales for the year, 15,000, 20,000. Hope everyone can see. That is in trouble. Okay, so the sales are there. Standard data per unit of product. So standard price, direct material is there, product chain, product jam. So cost per kg. Material A cost 2 cedis per kg. That's the standard price. Meanwhile, product chain need 50 kg of the material. So the cost will be 100 Ghana. Good. When you go to product jam, it requires 100 kg. So that also be what? 200. Now let's move on. When you go to material B, the cost is what? The cost is good. The cost is 4 Ghana cedis, and then product chain need 10, so that 400, and then that of jam is 50, so that would be what? This one is 40, and this one too is hey, in trouble. So that's 4 by 50. That's 100. Good. Now let's move on. Wow. Standard wage is as follows. So the same show, department X, department Y. Now the important bit is this. The company's budgeted total variable production overheads and fixed production overheads are 6 million and 3 million respectively. So the variable production overhead is 6 million, and then the fixed is what? 3 million. Budgeted labor hours is what? 600 hours. The company earns a markup of what? 20% on marginal product cost. Wow. So that's a good examiner. He said markup. So that when you're done, you calculate on it straightforward. There's no need for you to go through all the ranges analysis that I did here. So it's a bit straightforward one. So take notes. Wow. Freddy's in trouble here. Good. Okay, so that was the question. So now let's start work. We are just for today. We are just calculating the production cost. So you are going to calculate the production cost using marginal cost system. For that of do for product chain and then the jam for me. So now let's start work. Probably that will be the end of our discussion. Cash budget. Okay, so let's start the game. We're now going to start the game. Hey, my distance is not going to. Okay, why are this behaving like that? Please, someone should probably save this Word document in PDF and then push it to me. Good. So that is it. Looks like today we are getting visitors. So okay, so now let's start the actual calculation. Cost of product or production cost. So production cost. We are using a marginal cost approach. So marginal cost do not include what? Fixed cost. That is it. Not just the fixed cost. It should be the fixed production overhead. The fixed production overhead. So total. So now let's see. This people, why? Let me come. This animal is probably the game. So that's what we'll be doing today. That's what we'll be doing today. Good. So first of all, I'm going to calculate the selling price. But before that, we walk through the cost. So calculation of selling price. Let me step him down. So calculation of what? The selling price. But you know that before you can get a selling price, you have to get a cost, right? Good. So let's put the. So let's start with the cost. Material. Material. So for material, there are two materials. So for material A, let's calculate that of that cheng and then jam. That's all. So if you go to material B, you do the same. Then we get the total cost of all of them. Then we are done. So let's resume the calculation. Let's resume the calculation. So get me the figures and then let's finish hard. So let's start. So for product cheng, how many kg do we need? Good. So we have to calculate the selling price from this. Now the issue is that why do you have to go and calculate the selling price? Because the functional budget that we did previously, there was no selling price in it. Now you realize that for the production budget, we need what? For production budget, we need the sales unit. But here the sales unit wasn't given, but instead they've given us the sales revenue. That's value. So you have to determine the selling price first, and then when we are done, we add it to what? So we divide it by the sales revenue to know the selling unit, or the sales unit. So you can see that there's Ghana cedi on top of the products. So jam chain, 15,000. Please, the arrangement has probably shifted a bit. I don't know how I can do this. I think you have the original version, so pardon me. So that's what I'm going to find for the selling price. So now let's start the game. So let's see. Good. So let's go to the material. So when you go to the material, so for material A, what you do is this. For product cheng, they need or they use what? 50 kg. You multiply by the 2 cedis, getting 100. And that's of the same material, they use what? 100 kg for jam. So it becomes 100 by what? By 2 in that order. So let's quickly do that and then we done. Good. So it will be 2 by 50, 2 by 50, and then 2 by 100. So 2 by 50 and 2 by 100. Now let's go to the board. Let's go to the board. Good. So it will be 2 by 50 or 2 by, good. So it will be 2 or 50 kg times 2 cedi. And that'll give us what? 100. And here it will be what? 100 kg by 2 cedi. Sorry. And that also give us what? 200, right? Good. Now, I hope everybody can see. Yeah, so now let's continue. I'll take this animal up there. Good. Okay. Now let's go to material B. This is material A. So for material B, still cheng, still jam. So for material B, tell me the kgs of cheng that you need. So cheng, jam. So what is the rate or the unit for material B? Okay, now let's see. You need, for material B, it's 4 kg. No, it's 4 Ghana cedis per kg, and you need 10. You need 150. Please, this one is 100. It's not 10. Yes, so that is 100. So you need 150 on the other side. So it will be 100 by 4 and 50 by 4. So 100 by 4 and 50 by 4. So 100 kg times 4 Ghana cedi and 50 kg times what? 4 Ghana cedi. Have you seen how they've arranged the question? If care's not taken, you mix them up. Yes. So this one gives us 200, right? Yes, if care's not taken, you mix them up. So this is the material cost. Then you go to labor. Labor 2, there are 2 types of labor. So you have labor X, labor Y. You do the same thing in that order, step-by-step approach like this before you can get the total cost. Now let's continue. We'll finish soon. So for labor or labor X, for labor X, that one too, you have to calculate for cheng and then jam. Okay. Calculating for cheng and calculating for jam. Good. So let's go and pick how many hours you spend at the department X and department Y. So is there a standard rate per hour? Department X is 20 Ghana cedis, but it required 5 hours produce cheng and 4 hours. So for department X, it will be 5 by 20 and 4 by 20. So 5 by 20 and 4 by 20. Good. So 5 hours by 20 Ghana cedi and 4 hours by 20 Ghana cedis. And this one will give us 100 Ghana and what? 80 Ghana. Now let's go to department Y or labor Y. So have you seen how we are doing it? Nicely and interesting. Good. So, and you should take your time, because a question like this, if you don't take time, in fact, it will scatter. Arrangement alone will scatter you. Oh yes, it will scatter. The arrangement of the question alone. Now when you go to product Y, the rates, sorry, when you go to department Y or labor type Y, it's 40 Ghana cedis per hour. But they require 4 hours for product cheng and 5 hours. So have you seen that? It's just like the reverse. 5, 5, 4, 4. The same thing here. 100 here, 100 there, 50 here, 50 there. So have you seen the arrangement of the question? But this question was strategically arranged to confuse. Yes, so that you end up picking different figure. So it will be 4 by 40 and 5 by 40. So let's go. So 4 and 5. So for product cheng, jam, so it is what? 4 hours at 40 Ghana cedis against 5 hours at 40 Ghana cedis. I hope they are correct. So this one give us 160 Ghana cedis. And this one give us what? 200 Ghana cedis. Good. We are going, we are down labor. There was no direct cost. Oh yeah, there's no direct cost in this. Where there's no direct cost, what do? Sorry, there's no direct expense. So you can just probably put this one together and get a prime cost if you want to do the analysis. But this is not the main solution. It's just a workings that you are doing. So when it's a workings, you giving us the detail of it might not be probably needed. If it is a work, calculate the selling price, then that one you show the detail. Why not? I'll show it for you. Okay, by next exams you can probably go away with it. Prime cost. So putting this together is the prime cost. Yeah, there's no direct expense, so it's empty. Putting all this together, what do you get? So now let's start. 100 plus 200, 300, 700, 900, 1,000. Wow. 1,000 to 1,240. 1,240. So 1,440, right? 1,440. Agreed. Confirm for me if it's so. Good. 1,360. I disagree. Okay. $1,440. I like that. Good. 1,440. Yes, Madam V is in. 1,440. But everyone has added 1,440. Good. I like that. 1,440. Let me see your 1,440. Oh yes. Let me see your 1,440. Let me see your 1,440. So 1,360. Good. 1,360. Good. So that's the prime cost. Then we are using marginal cost approach. Marginal cost, right after the prime cost, add your variable production overhead. That's all. Variable what? Production overhead. Overheads. That's all. Then we are done with the total costs. Then we strike our profit on it. When we are done, we get a selling price. Have you seen? Yes. It was plenty, but straightforward. Have you seen? That one is far better than we giving you just one item. It's very difficult. So take note. Yes, I like your answer to 1,440. Yes, 1,440. Good. Now let's go and pick the variable production overheads. Variable production overheads. Now let's go to the notes. One of the notes says that the company's budgeted total variable production overheads and fixed production overheads are expected to be 6 million. So the production overhead, the variable one is 6 million, the fixed is 3 million, respectively. Budgeted labor hours is what? 600,000 hours. The company earns a markup of 20% on a marginal production cost. Marginal production costs. Yes. So that is it. So now, they are saying this. We are not going to pick the fixed cost, no, because marginal cost, we don't need the fixed production overhead. So the question is, if you don't need it, why do the examiner bring it inside? Like I tell you, overflow information is allowed. Oh yes, when certain question, you are allowed to bring figures that are important, like possible figures, but not needed or to solve the question. So take note. So overflow information is allowed. So the question is, then here too, we need the spirit of discernment to probably speak to us that, okay, pick this one, don't pick this, pick this, don't pick this. And that you end up picking all the figures. Some will tell, okay, once it's in a question, I'll pick it. So take note. So it's 6 million against 600 hours. So let's see. Let's go and calculate the rate. Now it means that we have to go and calculate the overhead absorption rate. So who can tell me the rate? Who can tell me the rate? So the rate will be 6 million. That will be 1, 2, 3. Overhead absorption rate over 600. So overhead absorption rate. Wow. That will be by 600,000. So the rate will be how many? So it's 600,000 hours, right? Oh yes. So it will be Ghana city of what? Okay, let's do some cancellation here. Some cancellation, another one. So 10 Ghana city, right? Per hour. Good. So the variable production overhead should be absorbed at the rate of what? 10 Ghana cedi per hour. But here we shouldn't forget that hours, we have two strong hours, two departments. We have to go to, oh yes, I like that. It's 10. So we have to go through that process again. So here too, it's okay. Put that department X because there's hours there. Anywhere there is hours, yes. Here, because the rate is the same, you can just go and sum up all the hours there and come and multiply. Oh yes, that's the great news about it. Instead of we doing something like this, chunk, bring in chunk here, bring in check here like this, and then put in probably the hours required by chunk is 5 hours, right? So to be 5 by 10 Ghana cedis. Then we go again, jam, product jam. The hours for product jam is what? For department X is 4, right? Also saying 4 by 10 Ghana cedis. I'll be talking now. How the network is okay now. Good. Now let's see. Sort of we doing something like this. Why can't we? Because this one give us 500 Ghana. Some also give us 400 Ghana. Adding is 900. It's nothing but this 9, right? Oh yes. So we can do something about it. Oh, sorry, it's 50, not I was doing. So it's 90, right? Oh, yeah, so we can just say 9 hours. 9 hours by 10 Ghana cedis for that of department X. Another 9 hours here. In fact, in all it will be 180. So just sum all the hours together. So 5, it's supposed to be 5 by 10, 4 by 10, 4 by 10, 5 by 10. But you can just sum the hours up together. And then you get total hours of what? 18 hours. So overall, the answer will be what? 180. Let me do the individual one for you. I'll come and do the long approach. So this will give us what? 50 and then 40. When it comes to product Y, is a change of position. So that one was 4 and 5, right? So that was 4 and 5. 4 and 5. So that one too will be also by 10. So that one will be 40, 50. Putting this together is 180, right? Or it's not 180. Yes, it's 180. So we can avoid all this because the rate is the same. So when the rate is the same, just get the total hours. So total hours of what? 18 hours. What's the labor hours? Count the labor hours. Let's go to the question and count the labor hours. The labor hours. Now counting the labor hours, department X. Department X, the hours is what? 5. For product that of what? Cheng. So 5 plus 4 making 9. So that's for department X. For department Y2 is 4 and 5 making another 9. So in all making what? 18 hours. So in short, it will be 18 hours times what? 10 Ghana cedi. Why 18 times 10? Because each of them does not have a specific rate. When you watch here the rate was 20, 20, 40, 40. Even here, I could have probably do something about it. 2, 2. Could have added the kg together, making 150 kg times 2. That will give us 300. So that will save us for going through so many steps, right? Like this, we could have probably added 50 plus 100, giving us what? 150 by what? By 2 cedi, making 300. So that will cater for this 300 here. And then you have only one item for material. You go to labor. Then you go to that for material A. Go to material B. 100 plus 50, making what? 150 times 4. That's what? 150 by 4, 600. That's a combination of what? Of the 400 and then the 200. You can do that way. Good. You go to labor. It's 20, 20. So you'll be 9, right? 9 by 20. 9 by 20 will give us what? 180. And that's the 180 that we see here. 9 by 40. That will give us what? 9 times 40. That's the... So that will give us... Yes, 360. Good. So 360. So the same way we are doing here. 18 hours by 10 cedi. That will give us 180. Putting this together, that's the total cost of what? Production, or the marginal cost of production. So this answer is called marginal what? Cost of production. Good. Marginal cost of production. So now kindly give me the answer. The marginal cost of production. Let me put it up, but that section is not showing. Marginal costs of production. 1,620. That's the marginal cost of production. In fact, it's coming from a shortcut. When I'm done with the shortcut approach for you. Now let's go to the profit. Add a profit to it. So someone to calculate the profit for me. So the profit is what? It's a markup, or is it markup or margin? I like that 620. Yes, 620. But so profit is what? So you can determine the profit for me. How? Markup or margin? What did they say? They say markup of 20% on marginal cost of production. So individually, calculate it for me and let me pick the answers. Everyone should try. Everyone should try. Everyone should try. Everyone should try. So what's the profit? So determine the profit for me. If the marginal cost of production is 620 and then the markup is 20%, what's the profit? What's the profit? 324. I like that. 324. In fact, you know the game, right? Good. Any answer is valid until the final marking scheme is revealed. Good. 324. Okay. 324. Hey, sorry, you can't see the board. Can you tell me what you see? You can swap it to the other section of the screen. The board will appear there. Then you double tap on it. Or just that you can see. Okay, 324. 324. Okay, 324. Okay, so that's fine. 324. 324. Selling price per unit is what? 1944. History should repeat itself. 1944, right? 1944. I like that. I like that. 1944. Good. So the profit will be 20% times what? The 1620, because it is what? Markup. And markup is always on cost. The cost is 1620. So the 324, I will take it 324. And as Jude said, the profit is what? 1944. 1944. Wow, it means that. What happened in 1944? You can tell us. The selling price, 1944. Selling price is 1944. Wow. 1944, what happened? Wow. So that is it. And that's the end of today's edition. Kindly go through. If you have any question, kindly ask. Yes. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Okay, so that's the Second World War, right? Good. So 1944 is the Second World War. Okay, okay. Okay, the Second World War. Okay. Wow, I like that. I like that. History repeats itself. Good, 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 good. In fact, all these answers, yeah, symbolic. So it means that, Okay, 1944. What other item too happened? Is that the Ashanti Confederation? Or that was 1948, right? Or 44, right? Okay. In fact, that's the same year that they invented calculator. So it's not only war. That was the same year calculator 2 was invented. So that is it. So it's an achievement. So calculator is how many years now? So before 1944, probably the brain was working. The brain was working. So 76 years now. Wow. 76 years now. That's calculator. Any other? Hey, assault rifle was also invented that year. Wow. 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 And then sunscreen. And then kidney. Wow. Kidney diagnosis was also invented in 1944. Sunscreen was invented during the World War by some soldiers. Okay, that was just by the way. That was just by the way. That was just by the way. In fact, I'll try and see if each and every day, every class, we make the class live in history. So you tell us exact. Today is what? What today's date? Today's date is I forgot to know. I don't know today's date. I don't know today's date. Today's date. Hey, sorry, 25th. Wow. Because of the quarantine. Because of the self-isolation. Don't know today's date. 25th of April. Good. 26th. I like that. Which today's date? Yeah, okay. So what we do is each and every class that we probably do, will be one history. So each day and then the history. Today, the history for the day is 1944, because our answer is 1944. 1944. That's the birthday of calculator. And then kidney diagnosis, Sankus, and Astor Rifle. You can check this yourself too. You can Google and tell me more. So you can check and tell me more. But what I know, calculator, and then that Astor Rifle. Is it a gun? Yes. Yes, because during that World War, they need a lot of what? Powerful guns. So it was invented during that era. Okay, so let's probably proceed and see. Now that we know the selling price to be 1944, now we can go ahead and determine what the selling price. That of the selling price. Did we add it or we did a separation? Okay, our time is probably up, so I think we will continue. So let's go through the question and see. Let's go through the question and then see. Okay. Now the selling price. Okay, what we have done is the total selling price. So preferably we're supposed to do for individual. So you have to single the individual product and find a selling price for the products. We cannot do for total. Good. So what I have done is a total selling price for all the products. Jam and then what? Jeng. So when you go home, what you have to do for me is do the separation. Separate the details of jam from chunk. Good. So that you can get the individual selling price and then we go and divide to get the units. So we do the separation. So all the jam one side, all the jam, chunk and jam one side. So in that order. Then when you come here, the hours to be 1990. Yes, the hours to be 1990. So when you come here to be 1990, and then you are done. So do that for me and get a selling price for the individual. If you had the answer, you still get a 1944. So that is it. And I guess that one we can even easily calculate for 10, it will be 100 plus 400 plus 100. So that's 500, 600, right? Then you pick the variable. Variable, you take 90, so 690. So the cost of, okay, that is it. So Cheng is 850, right? Okay, let's do the separation right now. I'll do that. Think I'll do that for you to get insights. Good. This video, I'll upload all the video today. I will upload all the video today. I will upload all the video today. Good. So for product chain, let me do chain here and let me do jam. Can you see? No, can't see. Let him come down, descend down. So chain and jam. Can you see? Oh yes, now you can see. So material A, the cost of material A for chain. I'm picking the details from here. So it's 100 for that of jam. Jam is 200. You come to that of material B. For cham is what? 400. For material B is what? 200. Good. Then you are done. You come to labor. Labor for X. For jam. For chem. Chem is 100. And for jam is what? Jam is 80. Jam is 80. Good. When it comes to Y, department Y, charm is what? 160 and jam is 200. Good. So I hope you are getting the. Oh, sorry. Good. I like that. In fact, someone is having a marking scheme. Someone was having a marking scheme. He's revealing it. Yes. In fact, he actually solved the work. He actually posted it to my, forwarded it to my mail. In fact, he actually did that. So now let's see. Okay, so it means that the prime cost will be what? Prime cost 100. Yes, 160. Oh, sorry. Yes, 160. Hey, I've written 16. Not getting well. So prime cost will be 500, 600, 7 what? 60. That's the prime cost, right? 760. 200, 600, 680. That's the prime cost over here. So I'll be get that. So prime cost. Then what do we do? Then we add what? We add the variable production overheads to it. With the variable production overheads, it was 10 cedi per hour. So for the hours, Cheng score 5 over here and also score what? 4. So making 9. So 9. So making 90, right? Yes, making 90. Okay, so making 90. So to be 9 hours by 10 Ghana cedi. 90. So that is it. So this is the total cost or total marginal cost. So adding this 850, adding this 760, putting them together, the 1620, right? Or 1610. This and this is 70. Good. So 770. Then what do you do again? Don't forget the profit. So what we did was totality. So profit per unit. So profit, it has what? 20%. So multiply this by 20. So that's 130. 800. That's 160. 8 plus 8, 16. So 70. 170, right? Is that so? Is that so? Hey, they are gone. Don't worry, we're finishing. So 850 plus 170, that will give us V. Normally help me with the calculation, or anybody can do that. Good. So 1020, right? 1020. Then what again? Here it will be 770 times 20%. So 0.2 times 770. Yes, 154. So what do you get after putting together? 154. So what do you get? Wow, I have to do it well here. So 1020. What again? 924. Good. Putting it together, we had a 1944. 1944. Good. Good. So this is the selling price. Now, to get the unit, you divide. What is the total sales revenue for the organization? So sales revenue. The revenue is from the question. The revenue is 15,000 for that of is it 15,000 or 15 million? In fact, in short, just pick each of the revenue for each product and divide it by the selling price per one to get the unit, and now you can continue. Please, now that we have the unit, please continue the work for me. Continue the work. Don't stop here. Even though you are going to end now, please, you don't need to end. You have to continue. Now the tough one has been what? Removed from the way. Good. So okay, so you can see that the sales revenue is what? 15 for that of chain. 15,000. My device is, wow, it's 15,000 here. And it's in cities, currency, so value. Good. So put that. So this is the revenue. Good. So it is for 15,000. So dividing 15,000 by 1020, what do you get? That's the unit. For product jam is 20,000. So you divide the 20,000 by what? 925, 924 to give you what? The unit. So do that. Now that's the sales unit. When you get a sales unit, you can now go ahead and go and do what? The production. So please, the production budget, do it for me. Then you'll be fine. So thank you very much for coming and for watching. Yes. So yes, with the sales revenue is 15 million. So we have to use 15 million, not 50.
So we use the full.
Yeah, we have to use a full amount. Other than that, you get the wrong answer. Let me go back again. Thank you for the question. Why are you? Why are you? Why are you? It's not coming. Good. Yeah. Okay, so the
It's
sales,
15 million.
yes, it's 15 million. So it will be 15 million, not 15,000.
Okay.
The full amount. So 15,000 by 1020. Because our 1020 is not in thousand. If you want to use the 15,000, then it will be 10.2. It will be 1. You collect 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. So it will be 1.02. It's going to be 0.9 in that order. I hope you get it.
Okay.
Good.
All right, thank you.
The figures will be too huge. You can also work in thousands of what units. You can also work in thousands, okay? Now the issue is that if you think the figures will be too huge, you can work in thousands. Why thousand? You raise 3 zeros on top. When you raise 3 zeros on top, you are working in thousands. So that one you have to divide it by what? 15,000, not 15 million. How we get that?
Yes.
So if you are working in thousand, then you have to divide it by what? 15,000. So you still put units. So the sales unit will be something like this. When you are working in thousands, your unit will be. So if you say sales unit, I'll put into bracket thousands of units. So it's in thousands units. Good. Thousands units. And that's okay. Then it will be 15,000 divided by 1020. Whatever I get, I'll put it there. That's the sales unit. If we don't see these thousands units here, then please write it in full. That's 15 million like this divided by the 1020. Then you put the figure here. Good.
Okay.
So that is it. You can probably raise the 3 zeros if the figures are too huge. If they are not too huge, then work with the 4 figures and then be free. Because sometimes we end up using the 15,000, but meanwhile, it's not with the 3 zeros here. So that is okay. Good. Any other question for me? I thought there was no question.
Yes, there is another concern because you are not on WhatsApp. Someone said